What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Don Domingo, and this is FLAVORDAZE Radio, your monthly overdose of creative flavor. You actually may end up in an overdose. Now, we're brought to you by KUAW.org and the Music and More Foundation. I'm here with my guy, Grand Finale.
What's up, my brother?
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. Good. I cannot complain.
All right. Well, we always do three things here at FLAVORDAZE. We start everything with a positive affirmation. We'll have a quote on creativity and another reason why I'm grateful today. So, our positive affirmation is, this show is going to be amazing. We're going to have great energy. It's going to be great conversations. We're going to be able to kind of dig deep into what's going on in the music scene and be able to kind of have some great, dialogue with a lot of people. I can count on it. The quote on creativity: the worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. That's Sylvia Plath. That's the one we're going to do. I actually agree with that. As soon as you start doubting yourself, sometimes it's hard to,
that's right.
maximize your creativity, you know?
I think it's that when you do that, you hinder it.
Yeah,
so, yes,
a lot.
I agree.
And another reason why I'm grateful, man, I actually had a really good weekend. I actually, I got to go down to South Carolina, see my family.
Yeah.
My father passed, God bless his soul. But it was good because, I got to meet my brother who I haven't met.
Man.
So, I got to dig deep into my, my heritage, man. And,
How did that go, like, with your brother?
Oh, man, it was good, man. It was actually like an eye-opening experience. It was like talking to a younger me,
Man.
honestly. Like, it was just like the way he talked, the way he spoke, how he moved. Like,
Man.
we both said what's happening to each other, like, at the same time. Like, how did we both know to say what's happening to each other? You know what I mean? So that just ended up being a good thing. So that's another reason why I'm grateful. You know what I mean? So, all right. Today, one of my first topics that I'm going to talk about: is there really a such thing as being too old in hip-hop? I feel like that's a big debate right now. Hip-hop just turned 50. You know what I mean? Like, so we're still young in the game. I mean, comparing, we're talking about rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 70 years old. You go to country, it's 102 years old. So when people say, hey, man, like, I'm going to go see Aerosmith, and they're all 70 years old, people are going to go see that. They're going to go see that. They're going to go, do all that. So what's the problem when somebody gets about 30 years old in hip-hop? They start calling them old and start washing them out. Is there really such a thing as too old?
Man, I just think the genre gets old. Meaning, like, if you have like a Tupac or a T.I.,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Those artists start talking about something totally different. And so because they start talking about something totally different, now it's like that genre is getting old, but it always surfaces, it always goes back around. So like now we got those artists coming back, but on new beats. So,
look at somebody like Nas. And so that's
Exactly.
kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, I feel like, the 90s, it really kind of started to bubble. Like, so, it was still young. And then in the 2000s, it was the cash cow. Like, hip-hop was the thing. That's what everybody focused on. And then right now, so, like, we've only had 24 years to kind of, flex our muscles since the 2000s. And so, like, I feel like a lot of the people who we hold high in regard,
mm-hmm.
they're in their 30s and 40s right now.
Yeah.
Some are in their 50s right now. Like, the people who we, really, like, hold to a high regard. So, like, do you think they'll ever be too old for hip hop?
No, honestly, because hip hop to me is all about it's the game that you get from it. Nipsey, he was an older guy, but like the game he was spitting flows through every generation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all of the things he was saying, in his music, it was just like this is how I help the next youth.
Right.
So it was some easy for youngins to bite down to.
Right.
So, no.
They'll never get too old. Okay.
They'll never get too old.
I just want to make sure because like I said, we just turned 50.
It's just those youngins saying that. That's what that really is.
All right. Well, and that's kind of my biggest thing now. So like, is it really still a young man's game? Like, do you think that's what it is, or I feel like it's still like actually an older person's game because those are people who were like turning the needle on things right now.
I think every genre has its place. That's how I really feel about it. Every single genre, age group it has their, you know, place of music. You know what I'm saying? Even from the little kid bop is its own space. You know?
Right.
So hip hop, the older genre of hip hop has carved their space in there. You know, now we got, you know, Sexy Red and all of them, and they carved their spaces in there. You know, and even
Do you think that? Hold on, you just said Sexy Red. Speaking of that, can her music? Can she get too old for her? Can she get too old for her music?
Nah. Yeah.
For her genre? So yeah, okay. Well, here's my final opinion on that. I'm just kind of give my final opinion. I don't think you can ever be too old for hip hop. I feel like a lot of people right now, like they're at their best, like right now, like even us, like right now. I feel like I've learned so much being 20 years in the game.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned so much that I'm actually at my best right now.
Yeah, I think, you know what I'm saying, like just music in general, you know what I'm saying, like you can always transition.
Yes.
You can always do something different. You can always make it new. You know, with hip hop, we take from a lot of places, so I think that it'll always be refreshed in some sort of way, you know. Shoot, we leaning in the rock now. We about to tear that up.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we got Beyonce. She's over there, you know, doing her thing. We got a lot of hip hop and then going to country, and that's kind of where I like it because you can reinvent yourself. So, here's my thing: if you're talented and you still got your skills and you still sharpening your skills and you know you can support yourself and you can invest in yourself, I say go do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I say go do it. So, yeah, man. Well, I appreciate that.
Man.
I appreciate that. Well, here's what we're all here for today. We're all here to see my man, Grand Finale. I've known him since '08. He's a graduate of Full Sail. He has over 6 million streams through streams and publishing.
Yes, sir.
He's been a boss since the day I met him. I walked in and said, "What do you do?" He said, "I do this," which means he was running his own studio at that time. So, my man, Grand Finale.
Man.
All right, man. Well, hey, welcome to the show, man. First thing I always wanted to ask everybody, you know, how did all this get started? How did Grand Finale get started? What is the genesis?
Honestly, it came from I was just a little young dude that was trying to learn how to make music. You know what I'm saying? I was a cool at it, learning type of dude, and I was like, so I know that I couldn't afford, you know, making beats or buying beats. At least I couldn't afford to go to the studios that I was sitting in with, you know, artists that that was popular,
right?
Like the studios that they were in, like Chapman's when it was open. I was very young at that age, you know what I'm saying, and I knew I wasn't gonna get that quality yet. So honestly, where it came from is just me wanting to learn it and figure it out, be good at it, get really good at it, and to be able to do it without having to lower my cost of it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Was it so? Were you like in a musical family? Like, was everybody into music, or you just was like?
I had cousins that were rappers, and I had they were always linking up with artists like from like California, and you know, like Mac Dre. I met him when I was really young, you know, and I met PSD when I was really young. They was at a recording studio, which was Chapman's, and they ended up letting me go in the booth and record a verse.
Okay.
Like it never made it nowhere, but it never made it nowhere. But like to get that experience is what I was going after.
Okay. So. All right. Well, listen, man. I think you know people always want to know what are some different things you're kind of into right now. Like we're talking about music. Everybody knows you're a producer. Everybody knows you can engineer. Everybody knows you got the videos on lock, photography on lock, video editing on lock. I mean, I'm sure you can probably build a house. I mean, we can really kind of go into a lot of different things here. But, you know, talk about some of the things you're doing outside of music, man. We know your music accomplishments, man. Talk to us about some of the things you got going
on. Outside of music, I in general, I like franchises. So right now, I'm also running a commercial cleaning company. So that, and then just, you know, I like to plan. I'm a strategic planner. I go out and help people, you know what I'm saying, do that. administrative work. I like the publishing part of music, so I'm doing a lot of that, and that's my favorite part actually, other than out of music at this point.
Well,
So,
talk a little bit more about that. Why is that your favorite? What did you find that made that your favorite thing?
because it means everything. Like publishing, copywriting, all of those things means you can create passive income for yourself. And if you use that properly, set up everything that you need to set up, then ultimately you can actually say that you're an artist. You can
Okay.
say that you're a rapper. You can say that I'm living off of this situation, or I'm making some income. Don't necessarily have to lend. It could be another stream.
Yeah.
But
I feel like a lot of people don't even know that, understand that side of music. We've had extensive 3-4 hour conversations just about this this kind of topic, and I feel like a lot of people miss that. So if you were to have to give somebody a quick pitch on why it's important, and say we had a young artist, they just getting started, what would you tell them was the most important things about this, being a musician or being an artist, and what they need to be really invested in versus excuse me, really in what they need to be invested in versus what they see they think they need to be invested
I
in.
think they need to at first off need to first ask themselves a question is like, is it just for play, or you really want to take it serious? And I know when I was younger too, I used to always lean in towards the creative part of it a lot. But had I listened, let's just say that, had I listened and started way earlier on the publishing side and registrations and just learning the administrative part alone, living off of it would be so much more fun. I would have been able to do so much more then, but it's almost feeling like I'm catching up now.
Yeah.
Although, you know what I'm saying, that catch up is a little faster, but that's what I would tell them. Like, literally, do the music, love the music, but play the game from a point of, okay, if I set this up, I register all this, whatever my efforts are after that is going to make me money. And so that's even the reason why they don't get into marketing at all. So
Sad case. We could have a 3-hour show about
Well.
marketing and what you need to do. What you need to do after you record your music. You know what I mean? How's anybody even gonna know that you did it if you don't market it?
Yep.
We'll button that up and we'll have a whole long discussion on that at a later date. Either way, everybody gonna want to know. First of all, I want to talk about. We're gonna backtrack a little bit. I want to talk about your name.
Grand
Kind of
finale.
the origin, and then the way you spell it is different than what people will see. You guys will see
It's spelled
online. It's spelled different.
It's spelled GRANDPHENALLY. The reason I didn't come up with the name, I had a cousin that came up with the name. He was an artist as well, and I was just a bunch of different names,
Like 90% of artists. Yeah.
And so Grand Finale was just a thing where it was like I was always the one they come to for the final polish of something. So of the song, a show disc. I used to get a lot of those, and I would do everything. I'd be putting explosives in there, to be scratches in there, to be I'll put a dog in there if y'all really wanted me to. But yeah, like that's what I did. That's what came about for Grand Finale, and then Grand Finale turned into something like bigger, like Grand Finale Studios.
Yeah.
Which like originally was like a recording studio, but I felt that it could be more of a media thing. So
AKA the Finale House. I nicknamed that. You know what I mean?
yeah, and then Finale House, you came up with that.
Yeah,
I didn't come up with the name at all, so I need to hurry up and trademark this.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I just really wanted to tell them, like, so kind of, we're going to fast forward back into what we were talking about, how we connected.
Man,
I'm going to let you tell your story, and then if there's something, if there's something in there, I'm going to interject.
man. So the first thing I remember out of that was the that ice block beat. Did I get it right? I got it right. So that beat was that one was just so hard to me. Like I said, who made this joint? You know what I'm saying? And I thought I just thought it was real dope. I always, you know what I'm saying, vibe to, you know, people's joints. But that one, that was hard. You know what I'm saying? It was a vibe on that. And then the introduction really came from Wild Child, and then it came from you actually paying for sessions.
Oh.
Like he actually didn't come there telling me, you gonna put me on. He didn't come tell me none of that. He just said, yo, how much is your sessions? And he started doing sessions with me.
And that's simple, man. I actually agree. I think that I started hearing a lot about you from Wild Child and other people who were going to you for studio time.
Man.
And so they were always being like, hey man, can you send the beat to the engineer? I'm like, yeah, what's his name? Like Grand Finale. I'm like, oh, okay. Then it'd be, you know, another artist. Can you send the beat to the engineer? Yeah, what's his name? Grand Finale. So I was just like, man, like, okay, I'm understanding what's going on. And so when I came in town, because I wasn't living in town, when I came back in town, I came to one of Wild Child's sessions. Shout out to Wild Child, man. You know what I'm saying? Much love.
What's up, boy?
Jackpot Flex, by the way. You know, so he was like, all right, we'll come to the session. I'll bring the beats.
Man.
I walk in. This whole place is a studio. I'm like, what is going on?
It was a whole apartment.
Whole apartment was a studio. Like he had the setup for you in the kitchen. You know, the living room had the game in it. You know what I'm saying, or whatever was in there. You know what I'm saying. Then you go to the back. There was a studio.
Man.
And so then I'm in there vibing, and I'm starting to notice that I'm like, man, what do you do? Like, what is it that you do, like, for a living as a job? Because everybody had a job. I mean, I had a job. I still have one, you know. So the thing about it is that everybody had a job, and I was like, so what do you do? He was like, this. I said, are you a boss for real? Like, this is how you pay everything in here? Yeah. I was mind blown because I didn't even think that somebody could do music well enough to live off of it. And this is like 08. This is like market crash. Everybody was 08, 09 was my worst year of my life. And I meet somebody who's literally living in this space where he, you know, paid for it off of music.
It was a bunch of artists around there, you know. It's like, that's the thing too. It's like, I was just always wanting to take my skill, whatever it was, and try to turn it into something that I could use, you know what I'm saying, to make income come in. And so it was like, then when I was younger, you know, I always felt like you whatever you make your if you're gonna make an addiction to something, make it your, you know what I'm saying, craft. Make it something that you believe in, as far as like what skill that you got, you know. And so music, I knew I had it, you know. Engineering, I knew I had it in stuff. And so I'm like, I wanted to trial out what it would be like. And don't get it wrong, I had help. I had also in that, I had a girl who's, you know, held me down until I was able to tip the thing over, you know what I'm saying? And so it became to where, you know, her stuff was extra income, you know what I mean? And that, to me, is how it should go, you know? That's how I like it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to use my skill to turn it into something that I can benefit from.
And that's good. That's why you're going back to the publishing now, doing the admin work, being able to, you know, get people right, man. If you're going to do your music, you might as well make something off of it. I mean, that's the point. And that's kind of the beauty of being independent, right? I mean,
I think, you know, any person that calls himself a rapper, you know, and it's not for play, I think it's best to try and use that to your advantage. Whatever skill that you can gain from it, that you can then turn into income from, that'll be a win.
And I think, and the funny thing that you mentioned was that I didn't come in trying to, you know, I don't want to say finesse, but I mean, like, you know, come in with questions or discounts or trying to do something that wasn't a thing. I understood that if you live here off of music, then this is a business for you.
Yep.
So I went and immediately did business talk. And I think that's, you know, through all ups and downs or whatever, I feel like that's been the mainstay
Man.
on why we've been connected since this long, because I feel like a lot of people can fall out
Man.
over silliness, but because they didn't really have a connection in the first place. Like, you know, yeah.
I respect the fact that you respected that you saw. He was like, this is how this man eats. You know what I'm saying? And I can only respect another man that's doing that, you know, move and coming that way. And so I think our relationship just kept building and building and building, because it was the fact that we were adding to versus subtracting. You see what I'm saying? And you know, because whoever wants somebody around that's subtracting from you. So, you know,
I feel you.
I don't like it.
Well, and then ever since then, man, we've just literally been bouncing ideas. I mean, bounce ideas off each other. I mean, I've learned a lot, like, you know, as far as production and recording, engineering.
Man.
I mean, you end up kind of being somebody like a reference, like, oh, hey, man, I can go talk to GP about this, or what have you.
Right.
And then you ventured off into music videos, and then made me look awesome on my music videos, you know. Which y'all could all go see on YouTube right now, Joey Sunday, you know. All directed by, you know,
Yes,
Grand
sir.
Finale. But, like, again, people don't even know, like, the multitude. I think that in one day, someday soon, everybody's going to understand, like, your true impact on the city and what you've kind of really done. Because, I mean, you worked with a lot of people in the city. You worked with a lot of people who were connected to the city. I mean, just to say, like, you know, you have ties to, I mean, just so many different people. I think it hasn't been championed enough. And I think that now is the time to start championing the people who've been behind the scenes. So that's kind of why, that's why we brought you here today. Because I really want you to, you know, be champion. I want you to be seen. Like, you know, you're kind of, I couldn't even go find a picture of you on your Instagram. I mean, so like a full picture of you. So what I mean is, like, I really wanted to, you know, bring you here to champion you. Because I feel like it's time, and you deserve it, bro.
I appreciate
Definitely
that.
deserve that,
That's
man.
one. I appreciate that, man. I'm just trying, you know what I'm saying? Like, trying to keep my head above water just like everybody else, but I'm just gonna keep going.
Okay.
Whether I get knocked down, I'm gonna keep getting up.
All right. Well, look, man. You know how we talk. You know how I like to have big picture talk, man. I think we don't have enough big picture talk. I think we concentrate on a lot of small things when we need to be, you know, focused on the big things. So, what does the future look like for you professionally, man? Like, business wise, what you got going on? What does it look like for you here?
Honestly, I'm going a route of collaborating with artists. You know what I'm saying? I believe that DIY artists are going to be the most valuable in the future, because they're going to be cutting costs in so many other aspects. It's going to be, you know, artists can pretty much do everything that they need to musically through an iPad. You see what I'm saying? And so if I want to, my future in that is to collaborate with the artists, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, teach them sort of the ropes, but also just kind of lead the way, help them see, like, okay, if we all just work together for real, we can really make some money. You know what I'm saying? And because it's not just in your country now. You can take this through marketing. You can take it in other countries, and you can release your song anywhere, you know, in any streaming platform now. So big thinking. I want my record label to almost be as big as Wu-Tang was. So
Woo! That's big picture talk.
But I like RZA. He's an inspiration to me, and what he did with Wu-Tang. I want to do that with collaborating with people online. You know what I'm saying? Like artists, they are well equipped to record their own music. There's a lot of them out there that like recording their own music right now, anyways.
Right.
And so that's where I'm looking at it in the future. You know.
Yeah, we definitely got some stuff coming up, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to hear, you know, young Don Domingo on a lot of different things. And,
Yes, sir.
you know, you're going to hear me on a couple of different things.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. My final question for you is, what does success look like to you? What is success in your opinion?
In my opinion, honestly, success is, to me, is the goals that you complete. You can make a bucket list of goals. You know what I'm saying? You can say, oh, I want to do this. I'm going to finish this. You know what I'm saying? But it's the ones to success to me is the ones you complete. You know what I'm saying? It's what you put on that vision board and scratch off. You know, because at the end of the day, that's the only way to be able to reflect what you've done in your life. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's with family, you know what I mean? Even if it's with your lover, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you just want to, if you set that goal and you able to complete that goal of whatever y'all decided to do, then you're successful.
All right.
So,
man, hey man, appreciate you coming.
Man,
appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Showing up,
out to flip,
pulling up. Listen, y'all. I want to thank y'all again for listening. You know, this is Joey Sunday, Don Domingo, big and tall, big dog, whatever you want to call me. I want to thank everybody for listening. This is KUAW.org. Special shout out to the Music and More Foundation. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for giving me you guys this time. Thank you so much for coming through.
Man,
Grand finale, man.
Appreciate you.
Much love.